We spend so much of our lives chasing joy, right? But what if the secret isn't about doing more, but maybe doing less? Today, we're going to dive into this really fascinating paper that kind of flips our whole understanding of joy completely on its head.
I mean, it's the question, isn't it? It drives so much of what we do. We're all looking for that light, easy, unburdened feeling. But are we even looking in the right places?
So, the modern world has a pretty clear answer for us. We get all these strategies, life hacks, optimization techniques, you name it. The advice is always to, regulate our emotions and structure everything for maximum positive affect. It's all very goal oriented, very adult.
But what if that's the exact problem? This is the big idea from the source material we're looking at. What if the very act of trying to control and manufacture joy is what makes it impossible to find? I mean, that's a pretty wild thought, right? So counterintuitive.
Okay, so this brings us to our first big idea here, the joy you can't chase. It's this concept that, some of the best feelings in life, you just can't hunt them down. They have to kind of show up on their own. So what's stopping them? Well, the source calls it the adult monitoring regime. And I want you to think of it like this. It's like having this little supervisor living in your head 24/7. It's always checking your posture, grading your performance, asking, am I doing this right? Is this efficient? What's the point? And look, this supervisor is great for, getting stuff done, but man, it can be a real killjoy.
All right, so what does this supervisor actually look like in real life? The paper gives us this brilliant breakdown, comparing two totally different ways of being, the adult way and the childhood way. And to make it super clear, let's start with something incredibly simple. Let's talk about walking. Think about it. When we walk as adults, it's almost always for something, right? We're going to a meeting. We're trying to burn some calories. It's efficient. It's supervised. But a kid's walk, the walk is the whole point. It's totally ungoverned. They'll just stop to look at a bug or spin in a circle for absolutely no reason. Nothing's being optimized because there's nothing to get out of it.
And you see the exact same thing when we play. An adult playing a video game is trying to win, to get better, to achieve something. Every single move is judged. But a kid just explores. They're just pulled by whatever seems interesting. They might shoot at a wall for 5 minutes just to see the cool explosion. For them, there's no such thing as bad play, because the whole map is a playground, not some kind of performance review. Okay, so here's the paradox, right? If the goal is to get into that childhood mode, how do you even do that without making it just another adult goal? See the problem? Well, this is where we get to the really cool part of the paper, this idea of an anti-technique. It's called the Morin Z reduction task, or MZRT for short. And listen, this is the most important part. Its goal is not to create joy. Nope. It's designed to get that little supervisor in your head to just, take a 5-minute coffee break, to just briefly shut down the constant judging so that maybe, just maybe, joy has a chance to wander in on its own. And I just love this metaphor they use. It's like a game of hide and seek. The second your brain's little monitor sees what you're up to, aha, I see you, you're trying to feel joy, poof, the feeling is gone. It's this super shy state that only comes out to play when you're not looking for it.
So, this all leads us to a guide that is, and this is on purpose, a little bit absurd. The instructions are meant to be weird. They're designed so you can't optimize them. Now, before we look at the actual steps, just remember the logic behind all this weirdness. The whole idea is to try and create conditions that are kind of like that childhood state. Very little deliberate control, lots of pure exploration, and, these little surprises that just break up our normal, rigid patterns. Okay, check out this example. You boot up an old game, maybe for just a minute or two, and you're not trying to win or anything. At some point, you just kind of move your shoulders around with no rhythm. Weird, right? Then you take a single, small sip of coffee, and then, and this is absolutely key, you close the game, and you just forget about it. No thinking about it, no analyzing did it work, nothing. And this is the perfect punchline. How do you totally fail at this task? Easy. You do everything that your adult supervisor brain is screaming at you to do. You analyze it. You try to make it better. You follow the steps to get an effect. You check if you're doing it right, or you turn it into a daily habit. The moment you try to control it, the whole thing just evaporates. So what's the big takeaway from all this? Really, it's about finding this profound value in moments that, by any adult standard, are completely and utterly useless.
So look, this MZRT thing isn't some magic pill. The real power is in the idea behind it. The idea of just disrupting our built-in habit of constantly evaluating everything. And to really drive this home, the paper throws out a few other little one-time only exercises. And the key is they're designed to be done once and then never thought about again. Okay, here's one to try. Ask a question in your head and then just let it go. Don't go looking for the answer. Your brain is going to hate that, which is kind of the whole point. Or how about this one? Put on a song you absolutely love, and the second you feel that little spark of enjoyment, turn it off. It's all about breaking that pattern of consuming and optimizing. Or try this one. Look at an object, and in your head, label it almost interesting. Not interesting, almost. It's a label that just refuses to be put in a neat little box. It's not good, it's not bad, it's not neutral. It just kind of is. And one last simple one for you. While you're walking, just stop, abruptly, for no reason at all. Then just start walking again. Don't analyze it. It's this tiny little physical rebellion against the idea that every single thing you do has to have a purpose.
And that really leaves us with this one big thought, doesn't it? We live in a world that is obsessed with metrics, with performance, with optimizing every little thing. And this paper is asking us to think about a pretty radical idea. What if the best parts of life, those moments of real, pure joy, what if they're found in the spaces we can't measure, in the things we do that we can't justify, and in the feelings we just can't control?